Hello, and welcome to Homeowner AF, the Canadian first-time homebuying podcast. I'm Brianna Goslin, mortgage agent level 2, and I work with Canadian first-time homebuyers every single day. If you want to own real estate in Canada but aren't sure how to position yourself to get there, this is the podcast for you. I want to see more young Canadians in the market, building equity and long-term wealth. That starts with getting the right advice at the right time, so you're positioned to act when it matters. Each week, I'll bring you bite-sized episodes that actually move the needle toward homeownership. Short, strategic, and packed with practical tips that you can use right away. I'll cover topics like minimum down payment, closing costs, credit, co-signers, and more. Remember, your finances are like a thumbprint. No two are the same. For advice tailored specifically to you, book your free call at briecallme.com. Now, let's get into it. Hello and welcome to Homeowner AF. Today, I am going to talk to you about gifted down payment, how that happens, why that happens, and how we make it work for you. So, it's no secret that most first-time homebuyers in Canada have help. They have help by way of co-signers, maybe a guarantor, and oftentimes gifted funds. In my practice, I would say 70% of my first-time homebuyers do have gifted funds or a monetary gift received by them to go towards their first property. Now, before I get too into the weeds of gifted down payment, I do want to acknowledge that not everyone has help. So I personally did not have family help when I purchased my first home, and it did affect my budget, but it's doable. Is it harder? Does it take longer? Yes, I'm not going to lie to you, but the best thing that you can do if you don't have access to gifted down payment is to meet with a pro. So someone like me, a mortgage agent, if you're on Ontario, or a broker, and you need to build out a plan. This will expedite the home buying process, and even while you're saving, it will make things speed up because you will be directed towards your goal and you'll have the very best information that actually applies to you. So a plan and intention will always move the needle, even if you don't have family help. So I understand if you want to skip the rest of this episode, if it is just too triggering to hear about all the people who do have help, totally get it. Book a call with me and we will figure it out for you. Go to www.briecallme.com and I'm happy to help out. But if you are here because you are the lucky recipient of some money to go towards your first home, listen up. I'm going to tell you how it's done. So these monetary gifts can come from a lot of places. They sometimes come from savings. They could be an early inheritance where mom and dad had a sum of money set aside for you, but now are thinking, hey, that could be useful now and not when I pass. And some parents actually gift a large sum of money once they've sold the family home because they have a windfall of cash and they know that this could help their adult child get a leg up in the market. So these funds can come from, like I said, mom, dad, immediate family members, grandma, grandpa. I've also seen stepmom and stepdad gift funds to home buyers. But you want to make sure that it's within that immediate family circle. And if it's somebody else, then let your mortgage agent or broker know, and they will let you know how best to proceed with those gifted funds. So they don't actually have to be in your account for 90 days before you purchase. We can absolutely document that where the money has come from for the lender, but there is a process that you do need to follow. So the money is transferred to the recipient, you, the person who is buying the house, and you provide bank statements showing that the sum has been deposited into your account because, of course, we always need a history of where that money has come from. If you have received it via bank draft, then keep all of your information that's been given to you by the bank. If it was an e-transfer, we will be able to see that online and let your parents or whoever is gifting the funds, let them know that they should hold on to the bank statements that correspond with that transaction just in case they're requested. Most often, the only extra documentation that we need is a signed gift letter. So each lender, whether it be a bank, whether it be a credit union, a monoline lender, they all have their own gift letter template. It's issued to you for e-signature by both you and the person who is gifting you the money. Some things to note about a gifted down payment. Depending on which lender you're working with, closing costs may have to come from the borrower's own resources. So that means, say you have a $50,000 down payment and that's being given to you by your mom. Great, fabulous, we love that for you, wonderful. Now, your bank account will need to show that $50,000 being deposited there, as well as a buffer for closing costs, but that will need to come from your own resources. So say an extra $10,000 sitting there that has not been gifted by anybody, but is from your own savings. So that's something that you should keep in mind. Now, what do you need to tell your broker before you actually go ahead and purchase with gifted funds? Well, you want to tell your broker early in the process about the monetary gift. And that way, we will be able to guide you in the best way through the path of least resistance and least documents going forward towards your closing date. So definitely keep everybody in the loop. And if you are just starting your home buying journey and you're just getting pre-approved, if you're working with me, we always have this conversation, but it's helpful to kind of tap on the shoulder of mom and dad or your in-laws or grandma and grandpa or anybody that you think may be giving you some money for your purchase. I say this because oftentimes when I'm working with folks, we go through the pre-approval and then they say, oh, I really wish I had more down payment, and magically somebody comes up with a monetary gift for them that they said, oh, I was intending to give this to you when you bought a house, but they had not been asked yet. Now, I know it's hard. It is hard to ask somebody for money, especially when it's somebody who has previously been generous to you or mom and dad who have done so much for you. And I know that a lot of parents of adult children want to make their lives easier and they want to help in any way they can, and oftentimes do not want to co-sign with their adult child, which I completely understand. And then when they realize that these gifted funds will make a large difference in the purchase, then they happily put some money down for that down payment. So just something to keep in mind. It is helpful to ask your family if the support is there, what they are willing to contribute to your purchase. Now, something you want to keep in mind before I sign off here is this money does truly have to be a gift. You're signing a letter saying that it does not have to be paid back and that it's not borrowed. This is because if the money is borrowed, then technically we have to add that debt into your debt ratios. And if you've listened to previous podcasts, you know that more debt means less mortgage that you can have or less mortgage payment that you'll be qualified to hold. So you want to make sure that it's absolutely a gift, not something that needs to be repaid. And if that's true, then you have some instant equity in your home and you are a very lucky Canadian home buyer with some help. If you have any questions about gifted down payment, I'm always happy to chat with first-time homebuyers. Just go to my link, www.briecallme.com, and I look forward to helping you towards buying your first home. Chat soon. Thanks for listening to Homeowner AF, the Canadian first-time home buying podcast. You'll find links to everything I mentioned in today's episode in the show notes, along with details on how to connect with me. I welcome all of your first-time home buying questions. Send me a voice note to have your question featured on air. And if you're ready to talk through specifics for your first home purchase, you can book a free call at briecallme.com. Remember, if home ownership is your goal, you could be closer than you think. You just need the right information to make the right move. I'll be back next week with another tidbit to help you get there.